On our show, and I think I mentioned earlier in the show that something special is going to happen, and it's going to happen now because we are introducing our next guest, Denise Owens, Jackson County Fair Manager, who is our 32,000th guest on our show. How about that? That's exciting. 32,000 guests. You are number 32,000, and we have the 32,000th guest gift pack.
Well, that is wonderful. Well, thank you.
So it's been, we're nearing our 19th anniversary here with JTV, and 32,000 guests have appeared on this show in our history.
That is amazing.
More than the population of the city of Jackson.
I feel privileged to know that I have that honorary position. Fantastic.
No one can take that away from you, Denise.
Thank you.
You'll have that forever, and if you know it's equal to a lifetime fair pass that you can give me after the show.
You got it.
All right, so our 32,000th guest has just had a spectacular week managing the Jackson County Fair. You've got to be happy with, from everything I could tell, a great week.
You know what? It was fantastic. And I am so pleased to see how well our new grounds were received. There was a lot of naysayers out there. There was scuttlebutt that we were going to go to MIS, that kind of thing. We didn't go there, and I hope nobody else went there. There's a gentleman out there in Jackson somewhere that bet me $10, and I still haven't received that $10. Okay. But we all know that I probably would have given it back to him. But the grounds are fantastic. I was telling you before we started here that when I looked at the drone shots that they had done during Fair Week, and I remember telling in a few interviews that people need to know that they're going to see a little dirt. Holy guacamole, there was a lot of dirt, you know, when you look at it from that vantage point. But I don't think anyone expected it to be that terrific. I know our food vendors were a little nervous, and it got through Tuesday, and the food vendors started to think, you know what, this isn't so bad. I do like this layout. And I know that Blake Houston, who is the CEO of Mid-America, our Carnival company for the last 10 years, he was a part of this vision in the very beginning several years ago. So he was super excited, and I couldn't be more pleased with the way things laid out. But I can tell you, I am going to be super excited about next year. As we speak right now, Bart, they are planting trees. So come next year, we will see trees, grass. You know, there was a lot of beautiful flowers that that Chris Witchen put around in the areas to try to brighten things up. And what he's gonna have exploding out by next year, people they're not even gonna remember this year being so great. They're just gonna be blown away.
Yeah, I think you did a great job, and you're right. There were a lot of great flower displays, particularly around the Gumper building. Yeah. And you did a nice job of keeping the backstage of the fair out of view. And that never has been. You always saw all the tractor trailers and the campers and everything, and they're pretty much invisible this year. It
was, and I mean, we have such a great staff. I can't even thank them enough. The group of people that really do make this happen. It's not just me. They did such a terrific job, and they're all professionals in my eyes anyway. But Blake Houston did a really good job about arranging the carnival so that you didn't see a lot of that backstage stuff. And what you did see backstage was the carnival, and I loved the look. I know you were at Wednesday night's show, and I don't know what you thought about seeing the carnival behind the stage.
I thought it was great.
It was. Yeah. It was great. It wasn't distracting at all. You know, we had the great big screens this year, bigger than what we've had in the past. I don't know if you really realized that being there, but that was exciting. And some people thought, oh my gosh, with the screens and then the carnival going on behind. No, people loved it. And it's not like you heard it. It didn't take away from the show at all. And I can tell you that several of our nights of shows, even our talent thought it was terrific. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, Jeff Dunham, he really was impressed because, of course, he was here a few years ago before we did all this. So he really liked it. And there are some talents, if they don't know about that ahead of time, they're not sure how they will feel about it. Our folks were told ahead of time, but they loved it until they saw it. and there's a number of fairs. We're not the only one that has Carnival behind the stage.
Right.
But yeah, everyone was really happy. And rain, it only happened in one tiny little window on Tuesday night. It was enough that I had to evacuate the grandstand, but that actually happened very quickly. Everybody got out, got under cover, and then the show was delayed about 30 minutes, but Boys to Men got right up there because it happened in between the first two acts and Boys to Men. They got right back up there and put on a terrific show. So it was a great week.
I think so too. Your weather cooperated. The acts were great. You sold out a couple of the shows, right?
Yeah, sold out. It definitely sold out the Wednesday night show, and that's never happened in during my time as fair manager there. So I made sure that I told all the guys from Foreigner, because this was their first visit for Styx. They've been here 3 times, so I didn't want to take away from Styx, but I told Foreigner, we've never sold out a show before. Yeah. I personally love them. I thought they were terrific, but I wanted to make sure that they knew how much I appreciated them coming.
And another thing that was cool, Foreigner enlisted some local talent. They had the East Jackson High School Choir sing on stage with them. How did that happen?
Oh my gosh! Well, I guess that's something that Foreigner does. They have they also have the Shriners that they use as folks at their charities that they support, but the local music programs, they've been doing this for years, and they really do want to show focus to how important the arts are in our school communities. So I thought that was terrific, and those kids were so excited, and they all had T-shirts on, and the band was really cool with them, and that was great. That same night, Evan Strunk, who's a young man from Western Schools that does speed painting, he was on our small stage. He did a speed painting. It was amazing. Of Foreigner, all 7 of the guys, and then the band signed that afterwards. So that was really cool, and we'll be showcasing that at a little later date when we get everything organized in the office.
Yes, Evan didn't even have the advantage of seeing the band in person, but before he painted that, so that was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing what he's doing. And he's got a lot of projects going on right now. You can see his Facebook page with a lot of photos, including that Foreigner photo, and he'll be part of Bright Walls in a couple weeks. Yeah. 3 weeks.
Super cool.
Yeah. So with the great weather, what was the attendance like? Have you added up all the numbers?
I haven't added everything up. I'm right now getting everything put together. I do know that some of the numbers I've seen are very, very good. I'm not sure how they compared to last year. I do know that our exhibits were down a little bit, and I think that was a fear factor. I think people, as they're driving by up until 2 weeks before the fair, didn't think we were going to have a fair, even though we had the dates out there and entries had a deadline and that kind of thing. But I absolutely believe that played into some of those lower numbers. Next year, they'll all come back and say, we're sorry we didn't trust you, type of deal. But for the most part, the Gumper building still looked fantastic with the still exhibits. I just know it because I see what's on the pages. I don't know that any of our patrons realized that maybe there was a little less of some things than there's been in the past. We did have a special presentation by Farm Bureau because this is their 100th year anniversary, and they did a special area in the Gumper building that I thought really turned out really cool. So in the Gumper building, we had Farm Bureau.
Oh, Farm
Bureau.
Because
they're 100 years this year. Yes. So they made a special presentation.
Nice. We have some photos. And check out our website, jtv.tv, the ORS photo galleries. Brooke Morse was at the fair several times. Also, your fair photographer, Kenny Price, provided some photos that we were able to share over the course of the week, including these from the grandstand. And Kenny gets right up there and spends some time with the acts, too.
Yep.
I tried bubble tea for the first time.
Did you? What'd you think?
I loved it.
Didn't seem weird, those little things that
you
suck through the straw?
I look forward to it now. Barns were great.
And we had a couple little snafus. We had the power. First Saturday night before fair, we had a 3-alarm fire with 3 ladder trucks show up.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, it was just basically an electrical line that had sparked, and then we lost power on North Street that took everything out in the barn area, which the kids can't use their blow dryers, when that happens. So that was a little snafu. I was ready I needed one day that we had no issues, and it really took until Saturday. But that again was behind the scenes. Nobody really knew it. That's a great picture right there.
Yeah. I didn't know you had those issues, and told me before the show there are a lot of things that no one knows about, but that's kind of what happens every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Did the construction stop at the event center?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I got a very nice call from the construction workers on Monday morning. Denise, do we need to come through a gate to get lunch, or can we just kind of slip around? And obviously, they are all great guys. So they enjoyed a week's worth of fair food. So I think it all worked out for the best.
Nice bonus. There weren't a couple of drone shots, were there, Meredith? No? Yes? Okay. All right. So next year, the landscaping will be done. What else? Is there anything changing? Was the configuration, any part of the configuration this year temporary?
Not really. We are going to tweak a few of, food court will still be food court, but we'll tweak that layout a little bit. I actually made a big point to put a bunch of picnic tables in there, and I had one patron that said they thought there were too many. I'm not going to take their advice. There's never too many.
Too many picnic tables?
Yeah.
No, there weren't.
So, and where the stage is, we need a little more shade. And so whether the stage will be there next year or it will actually be in the plaza on the north end of the new building, that's still to be determined.
Well, you've got so much more room, really, to be more creative with that kind of stuff.
And we sure will be next year.
And the American One Event Center will be done in the spring, so how is that going to be used during the fair?
Well, it's my hope to actually have static displays in there, kind of similar to the Gumper, bring a few things in, not sure what that'll be exactly, but I'm going to have some vendors in there too. I think a lot of people will come to the fair next year to just be able to go through that building. And so we'll showcase it in some way, but I think we'll also have retail vendors in there, that kind of thing, along with like we do in the American One or under the grandstand.
All right. Well, we do have those drone stills, and these are from your contractor.
Look at all that dirt, Bart.
Yeah.
I guess there was a lot of dirt.
It's amazing that this looks so much like the animation that we saw earlier in the year.
Yep, and those folks were there that were part of that design team, and they came down to the fair a couple of different days because they wanted to see, you know, how their work actually worked, you know.
Cool. Well, congratulations on a job well done to you and your whole staff of employees and a lot of volunteers.
Absolutely. Couldn't do it without the volunteers.
Thanks, Denise, and thanks for being our 32,000th guest. Denise Owens, Jackson County Fair Manager. Up next, we'll continue celebrating